Question number 5, Tracey Martin.
Kia ora, Mr Speaker. To the Minister for Tertiary Education, Skills and Employment, what reports has he seen on the financial sustainability of Lincoln University?
Mr Speaker.
The Honourable Louise Upston.
On behalf of the Minister, I have seen a number of reports. Because of its small size, Lincoln has struggled to be financially sustainable since before 2007, well before the Christchurch earthquakes. The Government, through the Tertiary Education Commission, is working to help Lincoln to return to profitability. Having increased agricultural funding rates by over 50% across the last 3 budgets, Government funding for Lincoln has increased 65.3% since 2008, compared to 24.2% increase for the university sector overall.
Supplementary question, Tracey Martin.
Is he aware of reports that the new Vice-Chancellor for Lincoln University last week told staff that, and I quote, "We have 1 year to get to a surplus or we are dead," end quote?
The Honourable Louise Upston.
Mr Speaker, as I mentioned in my primary answer, there are some challenges for Lincoln University in returning to profitability that the Tertiary Education Commission are supporting them with. In terms of options available and decisions to be made, they are decisions for the Lincoln University.
Okay. Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Tracey Martin.
To the Minister, what actions are his officers taking to pursue the previous Vice-Chancellor, Andy West's, mismanagement and the dodgy awarding of taxpayer-funded contracts to his mates, such as Roger Peccia?
Yeah, that's right.
Mr Speaker.
The order. The Honourable Heke Parata. The Honourable. Point of order.
That question makes a very serious allegation. It shouldn't stand.
Well, the first part of the order. Order. I heard the first part of the question and there was absolutely no problem with that. I didn't hear the second part because, again, noise coming from the member's own colleague. I'll invite the member to ask the question again. If it is in order, we will proceed. If the member adds something that is out of order and makes an allegation, she risks losing the opportunity for that question.
Thank you. What actions are his officers taking to pursue the previous Vice-Chancellor, Andy West's, mismanagement and the dodgy awarding of taxpayer-funded contracts to Andy West's mates, such as Roger Peccia?
The question is in order. The Honourable Louise Upston.
Mr Speaker, decisions for the Lincoln University are matters for the university to consider, and those relate to anything to do with the Vice-Chancellor.
Supplementary
question, Tracey Martin.
Is he concerned that Lincoln University may be so financially damaged by these recent Vice-Chancellor decisions that the 2017 future footprint is also now under threat?
The Honourable Louise Upston.
I simply refer the member to my answer to the primary question, which talked about the levels of funding and support over and above other universities that this government has made.
Order. Mr Mark, this will be the last time I ask you to cease interjecting, certainly in that tone as well. Grant Robertson, question number 6.
Thank you, Mr Speaker.